Hi, thank you for joining me so much today. I want to welcome you to the Gold Standard. I am Jennifer E. Goldman, nonprofit management consultant, and I'm working to help nonprofit organizations learn to implement more business practices into their daily operations so that they can have greater success and fulfill their missions in a greater, more effective way. And one of the things that I have done is a lot of fundraising and funding planning training and teaching more organizations how to use quantitative measures to tell their story, to figure out if they are achieving success. And one of the tools that I used, which somebody had said to me, why don't you put this in a video so that we can remember it and communicate it with our boards? So I wanted to bring you one of the math problems that we did. And um, I'm always concerned when I have to bring up math because nobody likes doing it, but this one's really simple. So we talked about in the training this spring, the current ratio. And basically it's a way to tell how financially stable your organization is. So I don't know how many of you do financial statements. This is a lot like a balance sheet, only much more simplified, which is great because I still can't wrap my head around the balance sheet. I don't love it. But the current ratio will give you an indication about how successful your organization is being, how stable your organization is. Should you be worried about money? Are you okay right now? If things ceased at this moment, would your organization be okay? So I've got this little slideshow for you. Hopefully it'll work. So this is the current ratio. And let's see, of course, it's not going now as I want it to. Here we go. So current, what does the word current mean? And we're talking about the ratio itself is your current assets divided by your current liabilities. So when we say the word current, basically what we're talking about are the things that you have or will have or will owe within the next 12 months. That's what we're defining as current. So if you think about it, the concept is if your organization stopped all of its functions, all of its operations, you're not going to do any projects or programs this year. If you just ceased right now with everything you're doing, what would you own? What would you have? What would you be owed? As well as what would still be coming, what would still be going out? What do you owe? And so when we talk about the current assets, it might be things like if your organization owns any real estate, it gets rent that comes into them. If you have donations that are promised, what's in your bank accounts, those are your current assets, the things that you own right now or the things that are owed to you that will be coming in over the next 12 months, even if you're not doing your programs. And then what do you owe? What are your current liabilities? Is it, do you have a bank loan? So no matter what happens, your organization still needs to pay off its bank loan. And your payroll. No matter what your organization is doing, you still have employees that have to pay the payroll and any benefits that are going toward that. What things do you have going out the door that no matter what operations you're doing or not doing, those things still exist for you coming in and going out. So you want to do that math. You want to figure out what that is. If you have a balance sheet, you have those figures already. If you have an accountant or a bookkeeper who can do that for you, those figures will be on there. You will have your total assets and total liabilities. So let's go to the next one. So what happens then? You get that number, you divided, your assets divided by your liabilities. So when you think about that, the math that you come out with is going to be an indication of your organization's stability. So if you come out with a 2 or higher, you are financially stable. If you come out somewhere between a 1 and a 2, it's okay. You might want to change up some things and figure out a better way so that you can get above that too. But it's okay. You're so-so. You're moderately stable. If you get a 1 or below, you definitely need to sit down with your budgeting committee, your finance committee, whatever you have, or maybe the full organization, and start talking about changing some of the practices that you have, some of the expenses. I don't always encourage organizations to try to cut expenses because then I feel like your programs suffer. But you might want to increase the assets that you have, the income streams that you have. So basically, if you think about it, and I don't know about all, I won't say all, but I know when I was much younger, I was very young and poor, and I was always living paycheck to paycheck, where, one flat tire or chipped tooth was going to mean not paying bills next month. So basically, when you're in that below 1 scenario, that's sort of what it is. Like you're living donation to donation, paycheck to paycheck. And should anything arise out of the ordinary, your organization is going to be in financial dire straits. You're going to suffer. And so when you think about that math concept, a two really indicates that you have twice as many current assets as you do current liabilities. And so that's a good place to be. And that's where we want to be in life too, right? You want to know that no matter what, if you lose your job, if something happens, you still have enough assets to keep you afloat after you pay off all of your liabilities. There's still more. In fact, when you get to a two and above, there's still at least twice as much more. If you're between that one and a two, like I said, the moderate stability basically means should everything come to a halt tomorrow, and you had to use all of your assets or you had to use your assets to pay off the liabilities, you would still have something. It might not be much, it's not double, but you'd still have something left over that would help you keep afloat. When we're in that one and below, basically it means it's going to take every asset we have, every dollar we have to pay off everything we owe. And then we have nothing, or we're still in debt. Depending on where that number falls. So these are the things that you should be thinking about when you're evaluating your organization's financial stability. And it should bring up some good questions for you guys. Even if you're at a two and above, what is it we're doing so well? How are we doing this well? How can we maintain this or leverage it to do even better? If you're in the one or the two, what can we do to really improve this? We're okay right now. And it's okay to be okay. But we always want to be doing better than okay. We always want to be prepared. If the pandemic taught us anything, it's life can change on a dime. You never know. So we always want to be prepared for the worst scenario. What is it that they say? Plan for the, yeah, hope for the best, but plan for the worst. So we want to rise above even the two. And then if you're at a one and below, definitely sit down with your organization. We need to change some things. How can we do better than this? How can we make sure that we're in a stable position so that we're not always feeling like we're running behind the eight ball or that we're one small disaster away from just going out of business? And that really is the goal, is to make sure that your organization is sustainable enough that you can stay and keep doing the programs and the services that you offer to your community forever. We want to be sustainable. We want to grow. So if I can help you with any of this, if you have any questions, I know math is not everybody's favorite topic, but if I can help you, please reach out to me, leave a comment or reach out. My contact information is in the bio of the YouTube channel. I'd love to hear from you and help you out even further if I can. Thanks so much. I hope you have a great day.